It's the Sunday Morning Brew with Maddie and Elle.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Where's your coffee? Where is it? Dude, what is the deal with these late nights? We had some late nights last night, friends.
I can't do it. I need early cards to come back.
Ugh. Welcome in. It is the Sunday Morning Brew, and we are, or at least I am, dragging ass. That was a late one for sure. On the East Coast, I think I got in bed by like 2:45.
Oh yeah, same.
Yeah,
same, 100%.
That was rough. Because what time was it in Vegas? What is the difference again?
It's a 3-hour time difference.
Yeah, 3-hour difference.
So yeah, that's still too late.
Yeah,
I want fights that get over at like 8:30 p.m. at the latest.
Yeah, I would have killed for an 11:45 ending, but still, it was a wonderful moment. Welcome in. Maddie here, Elle here. We are waking up with all of you. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning, Leprechaun. Thank you for popping in. It's brought to you by Grind Ups Coffee Co. We love them so much because they make the morning so much better. What flavor you have, Elle?
I'm still on this caramel vanilla kick.
You got the caramel one. Yeah, so I still have the cinnamon pecan.
Ooh,
I'm curious if they have any fall flavors. I got to go check it out, but definitely, go to grindupscoffeeco.com to get yours. It is very, very freaking good. So stop drinking disgusting coffee.
Let's go.
Last night was really, really cool until we got to the co-main and main.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I did not think the main event was as boring as other people did. I'm with you on the co-main. It was not the most exciting fight. It was a very smart fought fight by Valentina, but yes, the first two fights were a lot more fun.
Oh my God. The way we started the card was phenomenal. Like, there were so many amazing fights last night that I think it delivered. I think the graphics delivered. I think
the ring girls.
Thank you. That's my first point. I was obsessed with the ring girls. I loved the outfit changes, how they matched the storyline. I just, oh my God.
We need theme nights for every UFC card.
That's what I'm saying. But like,
ring girls.
I hope that this is a trend moving forward where they do like trending or like holiday themed cards, because I thought that was so friggin' cool.
So cool.
I don't know what else they would do.
This year was incredible. What?
I don't know what else they would do, but
yeah, I honestly don't know. I don't think there's enough themes for them to do that every weekend, but it was sick. The sphere delivered. I was definitely a skeptic on it, but the graphics looked absolutely incredible. I bet being there in person was just surreal.
Unreal. So I was one of those unfortunate souls that had to watch it at Buffalo Wild Wings. Listen, no beef to Buffalo Wild Wings, especially if you want to sponsor us. Hey, but you can't hear what's going on.
No.
And
it's terrible to watch the fights at B-dubs.
It's just so terrible because I'm sitting next to this guy who clearly has never watched a day of fighting in his life and probably bet on every single fight, and just, it was like the most ridiculous comments all night. And I'm just like, I can't deal with this right now.
Why do you do that to yourself, Maddie? Why not just watch the
Because I'm cheap, Elle. I'm cheap. I didn't want to buy
rings is cheaper than the pay-per-view. I get it.
God, I just couldn't do it. But anyway, top-notch night, super fun. Can somebody please explain to me what chiwiwi means?
What?
Chiwiwi? Have you missed this whole thing?
Apparently. Why do you have the most random pop culture stuff always?
Girl, hold on. This whole thing with Rosas Jr., how he made the whole stadium say it.
Oh, I get what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I was like, what?
He's like, and every time he's on the screen, people say it. I don't know what it means. but he's like
I
making
don't
it his like calling card, and he's making it his
thing.
like.
Maybe he made it up. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know at
Time
all.
Chowiwi.
It's a good time. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but he's definitely, I would say, a star in the making. I thought he had a pretty good performance. He's still so young, and I think he's probably going to move up a weight class eventually. You can see him
True.
filling out
Yeah,
as
he
he
looked massive
continues.
in
What
this fight.
was that? What was that? Fight number 5 or something?
For him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Raul.
sounds 4 or 5. Remember, he had his last fight got moved because he was sick.
Yeah.
On that card, so it might just be 4. I can pull it up for you right now. Wow, it's 10-1. It's a good record. Let's see. Yep, 5, 4-1.
That's wild. And how old is he again? He's 19, 18?
Well, not anymore. Oh no, shit, he is still 19. I thought he turned 20.
19?
No,
19.
October he turns 20.
19, and he has that many friggin' fights in the UFC. That's wild. That's so cool. Definitely wasn't a performance of the night bonus though.
No, not on that card. Did I not tell you guys how freaking good Daniel Zellhuber and Esteban Grabovich was going to be?
Unreal. Unreal. Zellhuber is not a human. He's not human. He is an absolute monster.
How good was Jason Herzog's call as well? Jason Herzog is the best ref in the business. I will die on this hill.
Well, I couldn't really hear everything. So which part are you talking about?
Oh, just being aware that Zellhuber still was in the fight.
Right.
I was like,
I know.
Back. And then I saw him start to move again, and I was like, okay, Herzog saw something that a lot of us didn't see. Right. Because he's so freaking good at his job. Right.
No, for sure. Because he was intelligently responding, but there was that one point where it's like,
it got a little dicey, but Herzog was like, all right, I'm gonna let you do your job. And catching the eye pokes, like very often the eye pokes don't get prevented necessarily, and he did such a good job of preventing them. Obviously it still happened because he wasn't listening very well, but he was watching him, and he's like, you need to stop putting your fingers out. And then when he did it again, he warned him sternly. So I feel like he did a great job in that fight.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a different kind of meeting before the Sphere or what, but I feel like all the judges were incredibly on top of every fighter, almost too much. It was
you mean the refs?
Yeah, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that.
Dude, somebody gave Herb Dean some money to help Sean out. Merab was got hurt and was circling, and he's like, gotta work. I'm like,
yeah.
He's been circling for 10 seconds. Calm down. It was a very active fight. And you see, maybe they pushed the refs and was like, hey, make sure there's action because this is the Sphere. Because I felt like Herb Dean normally would have
never said that.
Wouldn't have nagged people in those positions, because it wasn't like Merab was and Valentina didn't get warned, for goodness sake.
Right.
There was a lot more stalemates in that fight than there were in, obviously she did a good job with her ground and pound as well, but I feel like Merab was pretty active every time he was on top on the cage.
Yeah, he was constantly doing something.
Very odd. That was very odd to me. That was kind of a weird fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole fight was weird. First,
you have Tim Welsh and
at first it's you don't. I mean, I didn't realize what Merab was doing. At first, I was like, "Oh, did he forget his mouthpiece? What is he pointing at? What is he yelling at? I don't understand." And then it come to find out he's just pissed off at Tim Welsh immediately,
which is fair.
It is fair. It definitely is fair.
Off at Tim Welsh. I've never even met the guy.
I know, right? Have we ever seen a coach get yelled at for overtraining? I can't remember, to my knowledge, another
for overtraining.
Overcoaching.
Well, I don't think it was overcoaching. It's he's yelling things to the other fighter.
Well, so Herb Dean classified it as overcoaching.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a dick move, to be completely honest. I understand it's a fight, but the cornerman, you're not fighting. It shouldn't be. I think that's kind of he was getting on to Aljo and stuff when he was he was fighting O'Malley,
you're trying to get you're too slow, Aljo.
Shoot Aljo, trying to be his coach, pretend to be his coach to get him to overextend and stuff. And I'm like, dude, focus on your guy.
I know.
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's like just focus on what you need to focus on and stop trying to make shit happen. Like let your fighter do what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Diego fucking Lopez.
Dude.
I am obsessed with this man. I
He
am.
has such an exciting style. Like I definitely think that they want him to have a title shot. Like they're stoked with that performance right now.
Yeah.
And I think if they can skip him over Movsar, they might, which kind of sucks for Movsar because he is on a ridiculous win streak. But I don't know. They might be trying to push Lopez into there, especially if we see Ilya beat Max. How incredible would it be to have Diego Lopez versus Ilya Topuria in Spain?
Ugh.
And they don't have to worry about now, because before, when everybody was like, oh, Sean O'Malley's going to beat Merab and then he's going to want to go up to 45, like that fight's not happening anymore.
Right.
Now it's like, if Ilya beats Max, who's next?
Right.
Like, do we do the rematch with Volk? I think they probably don't want to do that right off the bat because Volk was dominant for so long. I could definitely see them pushing Diego into that spot, which is wild.
And it just mixes things up a bit more. It makes things way more interesting. My only thing, my one little, I wish he just let him up a little sooner in that first round.
Yeah. No, I can see it. I get it. Like, guys, grappling's hard. Or, I mean, striking's hard. It's scary. if I'm on top of you, like, it's really hard for me to be like, yeah, let's go back to our feet where I don't have a massive advantage over you. Like, but I don't disagree. Like, I would have liked to see him get that, like, because I think
knockout
he would have knocked him out there. I really
That's
do.
what I'm saying.
But
like,
also,
he had him rocked.
We have seen Brian Ortega just.
Well, he recovered so well.
He always does. He's so incredibly tough, you know? And so I think we probably could have seen him get that finish there, but it's also hard to say because Brian Ortega's got that Mexican blood in him, man. Like, and dude, Zell Huber too. Like, I'm just convinced you can't knock them out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was fucking wild. And like I mean, those are two great examples of people where it's like, how the fuck did you recover so well? Like, the average person would have been done. Yeah, like he like intelligently recovered.
He never even got dropped. He was like
so wild.
He's like, he was unconscious on his feet for a bit and then woke back up. Like,
so wild. Good morning, Greg. Waking up in Vegas this morning. UFC Noche was next level. Amazing. So jealous, Greg.
Were you at the Sphere or just like watching in Vegas?
Waking up in Vegas. Katy Perry, anybody? Okay. Whatever. Anyway, but yes, not only did Diego have an awesome performance, he gets the dub. He immediately runs back out and corners Alexa Grasso. Like,
what a G. Oh no, I was like, I'm such a Diego fan right now.
So
Greg says,
good.
I was at the Sphere. Tell us about it. Tell us all about it in the comments. We want to hear.
And if you don't mind sharing, how much was your ticket? I just want to know. If you don't mind sharing, I want to know how much you spent on that thing. Wild. So wild. So speaking of being in the Sphere, were you up to the whole Easter egg thing that was going on?
Yeah, I didn't see anything. I don't know.
For the life of me, could not find a single Easter egg.
Well, aren't they like worth it? Like, don't you get like a crap ton of money if you get one? So I'm sure.
Well, so crazy hard. So the gist of it was Dana White said that with all of the intro videos, there was one Easter egg in each intro video, and it was some sort of clock. It was like a countdown of the fight.
I didn't see any of that.
I didn't see one goddamn clock. So if anybody saw one, I need to know.
We need to know. Yes, screenshot it, send it to us.
Ugh. How did you guys feel in general? I mean, the event as a whole, I think it delivered. And I think, they spent so much money on it that they certainly got their time's worth. I think there was only 2 finishes, right?
Yeah, I thought it was a great event.
I thought it was incredible.
I agree that the main event and the co-main were not as lackluster as the rest of the card, but I feel like the card overall, or they were a little more lackluster, but I feel like the card overall is really phenomenal. Like I would
give it I'd give it an A.
Yeah. I do think that they should have tried to find a way to put Moreno on this card. I know he took some very much needed time off, but I feel like that would have been really awesome to have Brandon Moreno on this card because he's always super exciting and
I know.
Mexican Independence Day.
I know. Like, I feel like he's like Mr. Mexico. You know, that would have been, that's like the one downfall. Do you think he does it again? Dana White and the Sphere. He said no,
I think
but
it's going to depend if they lost a lot of money or not, because it was like a $25 million production, right? Like
millions,
just to
yeah.
be in the Sphere. So did they make that back in pay-per-views and after they pay out fighters and bonuses and everything?
Yeah, I'll definitely be curious to see what the numbers look like when all that comes in.
Yeah,
for sure.
I do kind of wonder. I would like to have seen what the crowd looked like because, dude, guys, David obviously was. I don't know why I said David. Dave was obviously down the street at T-Mobile Arena last night, not at the Sphere, but was at the Canelo show. And the pictures he sent us of the crowd, just was like a sea of people.
Yeah, like
it looked like they sold out the T-Mobile Arena, which is massive.
Right.
So I am kind of curious how full the Sphere ended up being, since it was so expensive. Oh, here we go. Greg's given us the scoop. 400 section, actually a great view and see. I assume you could probably see really well from anywhere because the screens were so big.
Let's see. It's like theater seating.
Nice. Got the seats when the prices were cut. Paid $675. That's honestly not terrible. Was 400 up pretty high, Greg? Like,
I would assume so. But still, like with that theater style seating, it doesn't really matter because nobody's in front of you.
Down into the cage too, which was such a cool thing because there's really no stadiums that are big enough or shaped like that where you have that kind of bird's eye view. Because I saw a few people that took videos where it was like they were almost on top of the fights. You could see it happening from above, and then you could obviously see a much better image on the screen.
And that's the benefit of the Sphere is like there's no bad seats when they start doing the graphics and stuff. Like unreal.
It looked incredible.
Let's see.
Yes, Jordan.
I didn't hear that. Jordan, I agree.
It kind of sounded like the Apex.
You know what, though? I think that was an audio decision on the broadcast. So I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to audio. It's probably my radio background, whatever. But I have to commend the audio setup. Just let me nerd out for a second. Because things like Megan O'Leary with like her cutaways, like the fact that she was able to have her audio onto the broadcast but not blast around the stadium, like that's a really hard thing to navigate. And then it's like I have a feeling they were able to like almost shut or like lower the crowd volume on the broadcast so you could hear other things.
Well,
and like
so you could hear the cool stories being told and the music and get the full experience of the graphics. Like
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure it was
really
incredible
high level stuff.
But it was really cool to watch just from my couch. Like, it was pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch each of them though, because like I said, I was at fucking Buffalo Wild Wings and I couldn't hear
any of it. I will say they didn't do like the luchadors.
Oh yeah,
they didn't do like the Mexican wrestlers, and I was really surprised because that's a pretty big piece of Mexican culture. I thought that would fit right in, and they didn't like do that. I thought that would have been a really fun thing that I felt like they kind of missed.
No, you're so right.
Mexico and production value on the main
card. 95% filled. Okay.
That's
I noticed the light up bracelets. Yes, I noticed that.
That's really cool. Okay,
that's some Taylor Swift shit right there. I like that.
They really did deliver. I was super skeptical. I was talking smack about them having to drop the prices. I definitely think they overpriced them for sure if they wanted to fill that stadium, but they made it work in the end. If they filled it 95%, I am curious if we'll ever get to see a full kind of profit breakdown from that. And then if it made money and whatnot, I'm sure the pay-per-view sales were pretty solid because a lot of people were like butthurt that the tickets to the Sphere were so much, like people who probably normally would have bought a ticket to an arena and bought a flight, probably bought the pay-per-view instead,
Yeah. And what's crazy too? I think like bars did really well too, because we called a random ass bar near my house to try and reserve a table. They wanted $30 a person just to reserve a person. And we go, oh, okay. So that's like going towards the bill, or they're like, no. It's like, okay. We're going somewhere else. We're going somewhere else.
I get it. They probably were like, yeah, well, we'll put the fights on just this once. And they probably got like all sorts of reservations. And they're like, oh, we're going to be.
Right. Let's see. A lot of great comments, guys. Thank you for chiming in. I definitely want to touch upon the really odd moment, or just like, yeah, odd moment between Yasmin and Souza with the groin shots. I did manage to
I've
hear,
never seen 2 female groin shots in one fight.
and the commentary was cracking me up. I was home for this, so I could hear this one, but how they were just going back and forth, like, you could tell that DC was dancing around the idea of like, wait, can girls wear cups? And Joe is like, yes, they should wear a cup. I'm like, all right. So I did.
I will
ahead.
say I played ice hockey growing up, right? And women have to wear a pelvic protector, and it essentially looks like a really wide, flat cup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it protects your pelvic bone from pucks, because the pucks
Yes.
go really
I'm
fast.
so glad you mentioned that, because
I do not want to fight in one.
right.
I think it would be really uncomfortable, and it doesn't happen that much.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
It does hurt though, guys. I swear. Like,
for sure.
it does hurt. Like,
We
I
have
know
a lot
it
of
probably
nerve
doesn't feel
endings
like
down
getting
there.
kicked in the nuts, but like, there's a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
Bone, nerve, skin. There's no fat. It sucks.
It definitely sucks. But I'm so glad you said that, because I ended up looking it up. Like, wait, are there cups for women?
Yeah.
And there are, and they're called athletic pelvic cups.
Told you, pelvic protectors. Real thing. Real thing. I feel like in hockey, it's one thing because like you're so padded up, you're already like a little stiff. But I feel like it would be, I don't know. I would not want to wear one. I would, if they do start doing that, I would like it to be optional, please.
Yeah, I'm all set. Yeah. There's actually some leagues, they're Muay Thai leagues, where you have to wear one. It's called a box.
Is it really?
It's called a box, and you have to wear it. I've never had to fight those rules, my God.
I'm gonna be on Google for a while today.
Shevchenko and Dumont, great female fighters. Oh, wrong one. Sounds and visuals were next level. I can see why people pay $140 a ticket to see an hour show. Merch sales, very expensive. I mean, I'm sure everything was expensive.
Oh,
yeah, the drone shots were freaking cool. I was trying to figure out how they were doing that. I was like,
right, so you could see the whole screen and everything.
Yeah, and I was like, do they have like a crane? But like, what are they using? But okay, the fact that it's a drone, that is badass.
The drone's really smart.
It is smart. I like that.
That's really cool. Obviously, there's always the risk that it disconnects and
there's always that risk of like, great female fighters, yeah, for sure. Great female fighters.
Norma looked really good. Yeah.
Norma looked good. You know, I shouldn't say I am a pretty big Valentina Shevchenko fan, but over the years, I'm just like, I get it. Like, you know, but she did what she had to do. I think Alexa Grasso did not expect that game plan. I think she was definitely surprised by that game plan.
Okay, maybe in the first round.
Yeah.
But if after the first round, I saw a comment earlier that said something like she didn't use her legs and feet to try and get the sub. She 100% tried to. And I don't think you guys, like, if you don't.
You're talking about Alexa, right?
Yeah. If you don't train, like, if somebody has decent top wrestling, it's incredibly hard to sub people off your back. It's not a good game plan. Getting taken down and trying to armbar and triangle people off your back is not a solid game plan. And the frustrating thing for me was the second, because she only did it twice, right at the end of the first round and then right at the end of the fight in the fifth round. As soon as she actually tried to get up, she did.
Right.
You aren't winning a fight off your back. It's very unlikely for you to get these arm bars. It hasn't worked in rounds 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, let's finally try and get up.
Yeah, like, let's switch up the game plan here.
Not using our butterfly hooks, because once she was throwing in butterflies, using the guillotine to get up, all good things, you know, and using the guillotine to reverse Valentina. Like, and she made the decision to keep her guard close. You have the guillotine. You might not finish it because the angle's really difficult. Your opponent rolls to their back. Let go of your guard and get on top, for God's sake. Like, she was so dead set on these submissions that just weren't happening.
Yeah. No, I totally
was
agree.
Really disappointed to see that, because I think she's a better fighter than she showed. You know?
Absolutely.
Valentina fought a great fight. Not taking anything away from her, but that's just what I saw on Grasso's side.
No, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head with that, for sure. And it's like, what killed me too was her Alexa's body language. She was so mentally defeated. At least that's what I saw. Like, she was like going back to the corner with her head down, and like, She's usually very calm anyway, but like there was just something about her body language where she was just defeated up here.
I felt like O'Malley was off too.
Same, dude.
He still looked
Okay.
like they
I don't
didn't
want to
have
be
the
that
moment.
person, but I almost wish I like wrote it down so I could like say, so I could be like, I told you. His walkout, I'm like,
It's weird, right?
I'm like, he's not in it.
His eyes were kind of shifty.
He was
He
like
just seemed
looking
like
around. He was like, he looked nervous as fuck.
he did. Yeah.
I was like, what? Who is this? Is not Sean O'Malley. Like, he
I
looked
know, I
so
agree.
nervous. He looked
Jordan
so
says the
nervous.
energy was not there. I don't disagree. I seemed like he wasn't himself. And one of the commentators said something I loved, and it was like, it's hard to be a butterfly in a windstorm. And that probably is what it feels like to fight Merab. So I don't know how much of it was just Merab, but it felt like O'Malley just didn't have he wasn't making the reads. He wasn't able to get his timing. Like, it just was not the O'Malley that I think fought Aljo. I think Aljo beats that O'Malley. And maybe the weight cut is too much for Aljo at 35 too, like to keep his chin. You know, I'm not sure. But obviously he's massive now. I don't think he's ever coming back down to 135. But he seemed off. You know, Merab fought a fantastic fight. Fought him really smart. The timing on the takedown.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I think like we're saying Sean was off, but like hats off to
Merab was
Merab.
on.
Like hats off to Merab, because anytime Sean tried anything, he was like white on rice, that man. Like he did not give Sean a second to breathe. Like it was very impressive. It was
when he made him chase him. Very few people do that to O'Malley because they feel like they have to press him.
Right.
Because it's dangerous to be at range with O'Malley, right? So Merab kind of like was like, I'm just going to move and I'm going to make him have to come to me. And then as soon as he feels like he has to overextend on that right hand, he's on the hips. Like just the timing was so beautiful on the shot. I'm going to be watching. That's how I want to fight people.
Right.
3 times and be on top of you all fight.
Yeah. I mean, it was a heartbreaking moment, but you know, kudos to Merab for sure. And it's like, for what the night was, like I wanted Grasso to get that win, but Valentina certainly earned that one.
Here's my question for you, Maddie.
Okay.
So I think we feel the same way about the Bilal Leon fight. Like it was just it was 5 rounds of dominance. I don't really care to see that fight again.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way about this fight? Like, do we feel like O'Malley was just so off that we want to see that again? Or do we feel like Merab was so dominant that we don't want to see that again?
Yeah, I don't think O'Malley earned an immediate title match. Yeah. I don't think he earned that. I think there wasn't a moment. To me, the scorecards were ridiculous. I gave Sean 1 round maybe.
Yeah, like, I think it was the third was the closest round for Sean. And it was still a really close round. Like
it was a really close round.
The
judges that gave him 2 rounds, I'm like, where? Maybe the 5th, maybe, but like, I don't think he earned an instant rematch whatsoever. So, and I mean, there's a piece of me that would love to see that, because that's just me hoping that O'Malley would show up time, you know, and like knowing who he is as a person, like it's always going to be fun and that sort of thing. But now we might get O'Malley versus Sandhagen, which I want to see.
I've been wanting to see that fight for so long, and it makes sense now too.
Yes.
It doesn't make as much sense as Umar. If they don't want to do Umar and Merab right away, it would make more sense to have Sean be like the title eliminator for Umar. But I feel like they should make Umar and Merab happen right away.
I think it will be Umar. If it's not, that's kind of fucked.
I want to bring up this too. Like he said, people were talking about like Sean can go 5 rounds. Yes. Defensively, he did well on the ground. Merab isn't a huge finisher, is one point to add to this. But my thing with O'Malley's performance, it's kind of going back to the same thing with Grasso. Like Merab's not taking your back. His legs are literally too short and you're too tall. And as soon as Sean O'Malley gave up his back, he got back to his feet. So why are we where are we wasting so much time on our backs as MMA fighters? Like the days, I'm going to hammer on this because it frustrates me so much.
Let it out.
The days of armbarring and triangle people off your back like are fewer and fewer. Like it is so rare. It is not high percentage to win that way. So like, dude, just give up your back and get up. And as soon as he did, like we saw it, Merab couldn't throw hooks in. Right. It's not his style. He usually doesn't, but it's because he's so freaking short compared to O'Malley. Like he's not going to be able to just jump the back like that. And O'Malley got up when he did it. couple of times he got to the fence, obviously, and then got broken back down, but it's better than being flat on your back, eating ground.
1,000%.
It's like,
1,000%.
I definitely think that, I think it was O'Malley spent a lot of time trying to not get finished on the ground instead of trying to like
do
get
something
back in the fight,
Yeah, like do something. Yeah, but him losing, honestly, like this division is so fun, and like him losing kind of like throws some new wrenches in the plan, which is like it's exciting. I think this is gonna be fun to see what's next.
Yeah. Greg said the Valentina and Grasso fight kind of zapped some energy from the crowd. I could see that, especially after Zaluber and Ribovix. I don't know how to say his name properly.
Yeah.
Ribovix. I don't. Especially after that fight, I'm sure it was kind of a bummer for the crowd. I can imagine, because I bet the energy was super high after that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Did you catch this one, Elle?
It did.
Okay, this was hilarious.
That was
that was not Kendrick Lamar. Definitely
the comment
not.
section was hilarious,
dude. As soon as that happened, I was like, well, that's gonna be a meme everywhere. Like they're
like, I'm gonna tell my kids that this was Kendrick Lamar memes. Like,
yes, but like that the production team like had that on lock. They heard that he was probably coming, and then they were like, oh, I think that's him. Like, oh, bro,
big mistake.
No,
well, somebody's getting yelled at on Monday for sure.
Definitely getting yelled at for that one.
Funny.
But I think it's safe to say the Sphere absolutely delivered. I give it an A. What about you, Elle?
Yeah, at least a B+, if not an A-. But I thought the production overall was just so spectacular. Like it was more than I expected it to be. I thought that it would look weird. I thought it would be like there's a movie going on while there's fights going on.
Like gimmicky,
the way
almost.
They incorporated the arena into it.
Yeah,
like it really looked real. Like from where I was sitting, especially when they did the like ruins. I was like, it looks like a fighter could walk out from the ruins. Like it looks like they were really there. So I was very impressed.
Yeah, definitely both of us impressed. We're giving it an A. I mean, there's so many other headlines we could get to, but we're going to save it for Tuesday for the Fight Bananas podcast. We, Michael Chandler news. I'm sure Dave has plenty to tell us.
Can we just address? I told you so.
Yeah. For sure.
Freaking told you so. I said that was never happening.
For sure.
Never happening.
It's never happening. And I have plenty to say about that, but just make sure you tune in on Tuesday for the Fight Bananas podcast. And then I'm sure Dave Van Auken has plenty to tell us about the Canelo experience. I think it's going to be a really fun show this coming Tuesday. So just keep your eyes out. Shout out to Grind Ups Coffee Co. as always, and our friends over at Workout Wipes for Women. Stop smelling like crap when you leave the gym. Use your workout wipes, and you can get 50% off your first order when you go to their website. So shout out to them. But thank you to everybody who chimed in today. We love seeing those comments. And I hope to see you Tuesday. I'll see you Tuesday, Elle.
I will see you Tuesday.